Hi, this is Bill Chan again from 5 Elements in sunny Florida. Now, last time we discussed about the obesity crisis in America, right? So this time I wanted to dive a little deeper in understanding the reasons why we're having such an overweight issue. As a matter of fact, in the last 10 years or so, Americans has increased their weight about 10%. And for children, kids, about 5%. So that's a lot of weight has been gained since the 2000, beginning of 2000 just. So why are we having such an obesity crisis? One of the key reasons is the standard American diet. We're going to talk about other elements in the coming videos later on, but the first and foremost reason is what you put in your mouth. So what is the standard American diet? SAD is the animal products and dairies. So all animal products, that includes the red meat, the white meats, the eggs, dairy, cheese. You look at seafood, fish, they're all animal proteins. So all animal products are part of the reasons why we're ballooning up in this nation. The other key reason is also SOS, sugar, oil, and salt. We're consuming a lot of sugar. All processed food contains a huge amount of sugar, oil, and salt. As a matter of fact, there's a great book that's written by Michael Morse on salt, sugar, and fats. And he talks extensively about how big industry hires these PhDs to figure out why, how much salt, oil, and sugar they can put in a food and make it addictive and it tastes so good that you are totally consumed by it, but without going over that, because once you go over that, that's repulsive, right? So that's called the bliss point, and companies spend millions to figure that out. So if you eat anything that comes in a can, a plastic bag, or a box, it's probably processed food that contains a lot of these addictive natures. Fast foods, we're all becoming a very busy nation, right? Both parents had to work, so family cooking has become a thing of the past, right? Grandmoms used to make homemade food, but not anymore. When we come home, we order out for pizza, we take our kids to McDonald's. So we're becoming a fast food nation, but all these fast food has making us really fat because all the calories involved in all these fast foods. Another reason is also alcohol, right? We're drinking a lot these days, but alcohol consumption, beer, wine, they're all very fattening. As a matter of fact, wine contains a lot of sugar as well, right? It's fermented sugar. So now, guess what is the leading cause of death in America? So besides the coronavirus, because last year, well, in the last 2 years, coronavirus has affected 1 million people in America. And so there's a lot of deaths. Now, before that or after the coronavirus, it's probably the chronic illnesses. Chronic illnesses has become like skyrocketed in this nation. Things like heart disease takes over 600,000 people's lives each year. And cancer is number 2. Stroke is not that far behind. You got things like Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is very scary because it's like someone that's stealing from you a piece of your belongings at a time. And this time it's really on your memories. So Alzheimer's disease, dementia is like you're losing your memory slowly, and not losing all the valuable things that you can remember in your life. diabetes. Diabetes is going rampant all over the world, not just in the US. As a matter of fact, China and India has the highest percentage of diabetes worldwide. Brazil, Mexico, diabetes rate is just out of control. So diabetes is in this nation, something like 1 out of 10 people has diabetes. So diabetes is a very scary illness because once you get diabetes, it can lead to heart attack. It can lead to it can lead to blindness. Also, it could lead to all types of issues, right? Liver problems, the non-alcoholic fatty liver, alcoholic fatty livers, they're all issues that comes out of diabetes as well. So kidney disease is as well, is also another big problem. Now, what does all these chronic illnesses has in common? One of the key links to all these chronic illnesses is animal-based and junk foods in this nation, animal-based diet. So if you look at how we can cure these problems, one of the best ways is to get rid of all these animal-based products. Number one, the nation per capita consumes about 222 pounds of meat per year per person. That's a lot of meat. And I wasn't consuming any myself last year, so somebody else is consuming my share of the 222 pounds. So, you know, things like dairy, right? If you look at dairy, you know, why do we have to consume milk? I mean, cows could give milk during their pregnancy, so their calves can actually grow from 20 pounds to 200 pounds in a year, 1,000 pounds in 2 years, right? Because they consume milk. But as soon as they become like after weaning, they stop, right? They stop consuming milk. But humans continue to consume milk all through their lives. And that doesn't make sense. And we consume other species' milk, right? It makes sense if we consume our mother's milk, but we don't. We have formulas. We can continue to consume whole milk all through our lives. And milk contains a lot of estrogen and also casein. Casein is animal protein that's very, very dangerous. As a matter of fact, T. Colin Campbell wrote about that in his China study. He talks about how he experiments with rats, and by increasing their daily intake of casein animal protein to 25% and above, their cancer cells become active all of a sudden, no matter what stage of cancer development these rats are in. Now, the funny thing is, the minute he reduced that casein level below 25%, guess what? The cancer cells quiets down. So it doesn't matter if you have cancer cell or not, because we all have cancer cells. It's how active they are. When you consume a lot of animal products, your cancer cell becomes very active, and you don't want that. Eggs is a big one. Eggs is a lot of people think that eggs is good for you, but eggs has a lot of calories, a lot of cholesterol. As a matter of fact, it contains more cholesterol than any other animal product, especially in the yolk part of the egg. Fish and seafood. Well, a lot of nutritionists may tell you that you need fish because omega-3, right? However, given how contaminated our ocean is right now, fish, the deep water fish contains a lot of mercury. And as a matter of fact, fish and seafood contains the highest level of TMAO, which is causes heart attacks, which is very bad for you. It causes cancer, it causes cardio issues as well. So, and lastly, all meat products, right? And red meat, it's already been proven by the FDA that causes cancer. Now, white meat, chicken, the other white meat, pork as well. So they're all very dangerous. White meat is not any better, right? It's just as bad. So if you look at all these white meats, red meat, bacon, as a matter of fact, bacon is even worse. All these processed meat is worse than red meat. So why is animal diet bad for you? So animal-based diets elevates your blood cholesterol level, especially the bad cholesterol, LDL. It promotes obesity, diabetes, heart disease. It also increases growth hormones. Now you might think, oh, well, growth hormone might be bad, not bad, right? My kids could go up really fast. You see these kids now, 14 years old, and they're like almost 6 feet tall, right? However, because they promote fast growth, also promotes cancer growth too. So you got to think about that. Plant-based teenagers are no shorter than animal consuming teenagers. The only difference is they actually spike up, the growth is later. So they might grow in height at later stages of teenage years instead of at the very early stages. They're pro-inflammatory. We know how bad that is. And all animal-based products are high in saturated and animal fats. And saturated fat is linked to heart issues, linked to heart diseases. So that's definitely not good for you. So foods contain fats, right? A lot of foods contains fats. Even plant-based foods contains fats. Now, there are good fats and there's bad fats. Now, chicken contains about 200 calories of fats. That's a lot of fats. Even skinless chickens contains a lot of saturated fats. As a matter of fact, it contains just as much as a steak would. Milk and cheese. What is cheese? Cheese is basically solid block of fat. That's what it is, solid block of fat. An American consumes about 40.5 pounds of cheese per year, per person. That's a lot of fats. Oil and processed food. You might think, hey, well, we're talking about olive oil. Olive oil might be good for you, right? Yeah, there are some studies that's saying that the Mediterranean diet that might be good for you. However, if you think about it, how many olive does it take to produce a teaspoon of olive oil? A lot of olive. You might be better off just eating the olive instead of cooking with olive oil. And processed carbohydrates like white bread, pasta, white rice, they're empty calories, basically. They took out all the nutrients from these flours, and then they sometimes add it back in. What they do is they enrich the grains. However, if you think about it, it's like when they take out the bran and the germs from the whole wheat, now they add they might take 100% out so that it tastes better and it lasts longer on the shelf. However, what they enrich and they add back in is just a percentage of that. There's no way they can add the nutrients that Mother Nature intended. So stay away from white flours. Whole wheat, 100% whole wheat or grain is excellent for you. So stay away from the processed carbohydrates. LDL cholesterol is very bad for your heart. So, hey, keep it below 70, you'll be fine. But anything above 70, when you're in a range of 80 and up, you're looking at a high risk of heart disease. So HDL are the good fats that come from nuts, seeds, avocados. Get a higher on the HDL, right? 40 to 60 milligrams per DL is good for you, right? So next time when you have your blood test, look for these numbers. So good fat is good for you from animal. Good fats is really good for you, but they're not from the animal products, right? They're from the plant-based products. Bad fats is from the animal products, from the sugar, oil, and salt we talked about earlier, and also from white carbohydrates, processed foods. So stay away from those. Now, if you hear somebody saying that they're vegan, they don't eat any white meat, any meat at all, is that necessarily a healthy diet? Yes or no? It's hard to say. It depends on what they consume, right? So they consume a lot of potato chips, beer. They're also vegan, right? But they're not healthy at all. So it depends on really what they actually eat. It's not what they label themselves. So what we're proposing is the whole food plant-based diet. That means everything coming from Mother Nature. Now, the whole food plant-based diet actually contains five of the food groups. One is fruits. Fruits is really good for you. Try to get a variety of fruits. Berries are excellent antioxidants. Nuts and seeds are really good. Now, don't consume too much of those because they do contain high calories, right? Vegetables, all colors of vegetables are really good for you. So try to mix it up. Have at least 5 different type of vegetables in your meal every day. Aim for about 30 different colors over the week. So the variety is the key for vegetables. Now, beans and legumes, these are really good for you. So have a lot of beans. They contain protein. They contain a lot of vitamins. It's fiber rich, so it's really good for you. Grains and starchy vegetables. Starchy vegetables are like potatoes, sweet potatoes, things like that. Yam. Grains are wheat, rye. So you can mix it up with grains and the mix it up. I try to mix up grains and beans together, and they make a great combination. So brown rice, red rice, and also black rice. These are really good for you. So there's the staples. Think about it in the ancient diets. As a matter of fact, in Asia, most of the Asian cultures grew up with rice, some type of rice, right? Generally, in the old days, either brown rice, red rice, or black rice. Now, nowadays, there's a lot more white rice, which is why we're faced with a lot of issues with chronic illnesses as well these days. So, yeah, let's stick with as much as possible the plant-based foods, okay? Whole food plant-based. Now, if you cannot go 100%, try to aim for 70-30. That means 30% animal-based products, 70% plant-based. Now, the key thing is the real big issue is stay away from processed food, okay? Ultra-processed food. Now, if you can cut out all these sodas, all these energy drinks, all those things that comes in a box, a can, or a bag, a plastic bag, then you'll be doing yourself a huge favor already. You'll be able to eliminate most of the chronic illnesses if you're able to stay away from processed food. food, okay? So don't make it too complicated, okay? Try to go for that 70-30 and one step at a time, right? We all like to jump in with both feet right away, but sometimes our bodies don't adjust as well immediately if we jump in with both feet. Now, try to take it gradually. Maybe cut down your meat consumption to 1 meal a day, okay? And then cut it down to a little deck, maybe like a playing card, you know, a size of a playing card. And try to aim for that 70-30 ratio. Stay away from all these processed food. Occasionally, if you have to have a birthday cake here and there, that's fine, but not every day, right? Not every week. Stay away from the soda, sweet drinks, they're all bad for you. All sweet drinks, as a matter of fact, even fruit juices, they contain a lot of sugar, and that doesn't help with weight loss. Now, if you can do that, that's the first step. That's the first fundamental step, what you put in your mouth. Now, you are what you eat. So what you put in your mouth is critically important. Once you can control that somewhat, then we can start looking at exercise. You can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. So start with the diet. You can eat as much, really, you can eat as much vegetables as you want, okay? And you will not gain the weight. However, once you start putting in animal products, then you got to count your calories, right? So if you want to make it easy, consume mostly plant-based. Little bit of meat if you have to, and maybe in the transition period. Once you go over that period, then you can go 100% and you have no worries, right? So start with your diet. Drink a lot of water and eat plant-based. Stay away from sugar, salt, and oil. And you have the basis of good food consumption. Next time, we'll look at exercise and sleep. Those are also critical in helping you to maintain your weight. All right. Thank you very much for attending. We'll see you next time. Thank you.